OK, we've already touched on that fantastic game at St James's Park last night. Maybe not as thrilling, the West London derby between Chelsea and Fulham, but it was the home side, Chelsea, that edged this one at Stamford Bridge, thanks to a Cole Palmer penalty just before half-time. With the score goalless at one stage in this game, though, the Chelsea fullback, Malo Gusto, was perhaps fortunate to escape a red card for a challenge on Willian. This is one that has been talked about a lot on whether or not it should have been a red. And even the Blues boss, Maurizio Pochettino, thought his player may have been slightly lucky.
I accept the opinion of and the view of Marcos. Yes, for sure, he's disappointed. Maybe I think under our opinion, maybe should be red. But look, sometimes happens, sometimes no. Sometimes the referee have different vision what we can do. But accept the opinion of Marco, and I can understand that maybe he's disappointed with the situation.
You've seen that incident, Cass, and like I say, a lot of people, maybe basing this on what we've already seen this season, thought that should have been a red. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any debate. And I'm always on the lenient side of decisions like this, but I couldn't really make an argument. Gusto catches Willian, and it's a poor challenge. It's rash, reckless, it's all of them things. And he's fortunate. Look, sometimes you get away with things in the game, and he certainly has there. And by the way, he's playing really well. He's done really well for Chelsea in recent weeks. He's been one of their standouts, and but yesterday, fortunate.
The issue is that we have seen similar reds this
Curtis
season.
Jones is
exactly. It was the perfect example because it's so similar. When he caught Yves Bissouma back in September time, I think it was, and that was a red card. And that's the issue we're having. You go back to the game on Friday night at Turf Moor, Burnley against Luton, the goal that was given for Luton. Again, likewise, we've seen many of those chalked off. And unfortunately, and maybe this all comes down to the old thing that we talk about, the subjectivity of laws, but that's the problem we've got right now. We're not getting the consistency that we're looking for.
Well, I would say, Nat, I was in the game. I've been in the game 40 years, and I played 20. And decisions have always been controversial. Yeah. All the years I've played, all different levels, League One, Championship, Ligue 1 in France, Ligue 2 in France, and international. Decisions go against you all the time. Yeah. Now, we have more information given to us via technology than ever, so you'd think that decisions, there'd be less of them. But it's multiplied. It's got worse. And some of them, like yesterday, are obvious. And I think, I know that everyone sort of says this, Nat. It's a phrase. It's not technology's problem. It's people who are deciding. And I get that. That is exactly the problem, because if you have people that don't see how obvious something is, how's it even going to get changed and get better? Because there are decisions that are so nonsensical. They're just not. I don't get how you can get there to make that call. And this yesterday, you mentioned Curtis Jones's challenge. I thought Curtis Jones's challenge was nowhere near as bad as this, but it's similar, but it's nowhere near as bad. But this one was a sending off, without doubt.
It's 4 wins in a row now in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, which for Chelsea, which is their best record at home since 2020, which I think is quite remarkable. As for Fulham, their poor away record does continue. They've only won once on the road. That was on the opening weekend of the season at Everton. In fact, they've got the second worst away record in the league as things stand. That after Sheffield United. Did
you know Chelsea are just behind Liverpool on points gained in the last 5 matches? Liverpool are first and Chelsea are second.
Well,
their game in midweek against Middlesbrough, okay, it was a League Cup game, but Chelsea in the form table the last 5 games are second.
Well, there you go.
So, as much as we've all, said this Chelsea team is not complete and, are things improving? I think that's an interesting point for Chelsea fans. It's a slow burner. They do look like a mid-table team at times, and the game was very close yesterday. Could have gone either way. Chelsea were probably slightly better, but there wasn't a lot to choose between them.
No, that's true. But it's a win that takes them up to 8th. They're level on points with 7th place Brighton and 9 points off the top 4. Will they end up having a cracking second half of the season? We will find out.
The Sunday Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.